Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Mental Health and Wellness. And today I'm going to be doing a story out of T. Harris, New Mexico. And this story is about a 24-year-old man who killed his whole family. He killed his mother, he killed his father, his sister, and the family dog. And all because he was not taking his medication for his mental illness. So this story is going to highlight the reasons why it's important to take your medication every day if you have a severe mental illness. Okay, now this young man killed his mother. She was 51 years old. She was a nurse. He killed his father. He was 46 years old. He was a mechanic. He killed his 17-year-old sister. She was a junior in high school. And he killed the family dog. Now, this story is just so terrible. It's terrible. Now, this young man had been in the hospital 3 weeks prior to this crime. And the reason why he was in the mental hospital is because he was having psychosis. And so apparently they gave him medication for psychosis, and apparently he was sent home. Now, usually when you're in the mental health hospital, before they discharge you, they will always ask you, are you suicidal? Are you homicidal? Are you having those feelings of suicide? Are you having those feelings of homicide? And if the person is having those feelings, most of the time they will not be honest, with the hospital staff. They will not be honest. Now, apparently, this young man was having homicidal feelings. He was having that because when he got out the hospital 3 weeks later, he killed his family. I think they call it homicidal ideology. I think that's what they call it. So he was having those feelings, but he didn't share that with the staff. Now, the reason why he killed his family is because he said that his family was trying to come in his room to hurt his heart. No, I think it was to hit his heart. Yeah, to hit his heart, which doesn't make sense at all. And actually, it doesn't make sense of the crime that he did either. But this is what he believed that his family was trying to kill him. He said his dad had a knife. He said his sister had a sledgehammer. And they were trying to get in his room to hit his heart. Okay, now, another thing too is that this young man was in college. He was in college for engineering. And then he dropped out, probably due to his severe mental illness. He dropped out and he was living at home. He didn't have a job. So, and then the neighbors reported that they saw him, the neighbors said that they would see him pacing up and down the street, mumbling to himself. But the neighbors said that, he wasn't violent, he had never been violent before, as far as they knew. And they would just see him, pacing up and down the street, talking to himself. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you a clip. I'm not going to get into any gruesome details, but I'm just going to show you a clip of what happened. Okay.
Today, a judge heard from a BCSO agent who described gun casings all around the home and a brutal crime scene. At one point, Mestre even interrupted his attorney, saying he wants to talk for himself.
You could see drag marks, blood that went over various bushes and trees and down into the ravine.
Detailed testimony from a BCSO case agent describing the bloody scene they discovered over the weekend. On Sunday, detectives arrived to a home in Tijeras after the landlord next door reported hearing gunshots. A BCSO agent saying today they found Adlai Mestre covered in blood and the bodies of his father, mother, and 17-year-old sister, all with gunshot wounds.
And we located them in the ravine, face down, lying on top of one another.
BCSO told the court they found 10 9mm casings around the house and said the bodies also had evidence of blunt force trauma. Deputies explained the family dog had been shot 3 times, and although it was found alive, animal control had to euthanize it because of its injuries. As part of their case to keep Mestre locked up, state prosecutors played surveillance video showing him kicking a hole through a wall while at the sheriff's station. As state prosecutors described finding evidence of Mestre trying to clean up the scene, Mestre raised his hand in court, appearing as if he wanted to speak, his defense attorney telling him to wait. But finally, Mestre interrupted, saying his medication had been stolen and that he tried to escape because he was scared.
I have a lot I have to say. May the media please get pictures of the corpses because my father was throwing this up and my mother was throwing this up. And their wounds were healed and blackened. May the media, may you please release the photos to the media because I'm fighting for my life.
Mestre's attorney argued he would be better off out of jail under supervision and on the proper medication, but the judge sided with the state, saying Mestre poses a danger to the community and ordered him to be held pending trial. Back to you.
All right, Jessica, thank you. Mestre is facing a long list of charges, including 3 counts of murder, cruelty to animals, and escape from custody.
Okay, now after watching this clip, you can tell that this young man had serious, off the charts delusions and hallucinations. And he also said that someone stole his medication. Now, because of his sick mind, he probably thought that somebody really stole his medication. And then he was saying that his family that he killed, he was talking about how their wounds had been healed. And he said something about they were blackened or they were darkened or blackened or something like that. So after he killed them, he said that their wounds were healed. So this young man was really off the charts sick in his mind. So if you know anyone, if you're living with anyone that has a severe mental illness, it doesn't even have to be severe. It could just be a mental illness, any type of mental illness. Make sure that they are taking their medication. And I know it's hard to monitor adults because, we can't monitor adults 24/7. But to the best of your ability, make sure that, especially if they're living with you, make sure that they are taking their medication because something like this can happen. And if you know somebody, if you have a friend or if you have a relative that has a child that has a severe mental illness, maybe just remind them. You can remind them you can let them know about this story that I'm talking about. Remind them how important it is for a person with a severe mental illness to take their medication. Because I'm sure that the parents, in a million years, they would not have thought that their child would kill the whole family. They would have never dreamed that, never thought that. Because, as parents, we love our children, maybe they had kept getting on him about taking his medicine. But like what he admitted to the deputies, someone stole his medicine. He thought somebody stole his medicine. So maybe when the parents were getting on him about taking his medicine, in his mind, he didn't have the medicine because he thought somebody stole it. Because when the sister, he had a sister that didn't live in that home. And when she got to the scene, she said that they had been getting on him about taking his medicine. You know, they had been reminding him about taking his medicine. But no one knew it would come to what it came to. You know, him killing his whole family. Okay, so I'm just doing this video so you could see the dangers of what can happen when you have a severe mental illness and you don't take your medication. So, like I said before, if you know somebody that's living with somebody that has a mental illness, if you are living with somebody that have a mental illness, this story is the reason why you should make sure that, to the best of your ability, make sure that they are taking their medicine. Okay, so if you like this video, you can subscribe, you can like, you can share, and I will see you in my next video. Okay, goodbye.